Welcome to the Elegance of Nae. I'm your host, Nae, and on this podcast, we'll be talking about a variety of topics with amazing stories. Let's get into it, shall we? Welcome back to the Elegance of Nae podcast. I'm your host, Nae, and today we got somebody new in the building. We got the Mr. JG in the building. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good. So how are you mentally and physically today?
Physically, I feel stronger. I worked out this morning. Mentally, I'm excited. It's the weekend, so at ease.
I feel it. So let's start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So where were you growing up? Like where were you born and raised?
Eastside Detroit.
Okay, East Side all
Spray
day.
205.
All
The
right.
zone.
Get it.
But no, I grew up all throughout the East Side. So went to like a lot of East Side elementary schools: Jones, Grant, Remus Robinson. Graduated from DSA. That's like the trajectory. I became kind of an adult really fast.
I feel that. So how were you as a kid from elementary to middle school?
Um, that's funny. So I used to always say I wanted to be Russell Simmons, like when I was in the third grade. So that was like I just knew I wanted like avenues and ventures. I didn't want to do just one thing. But also just like I was a very like nerd. So I was like a 4.0 kid, like all the way until I realized that girls like me. So it was like when that happened, it was like, what school what? So I would say around like middle school, I kind of started to kind of deviate a little bit.
Okay. So what drew your attention? What about Russell Simmons that drew your attention the most?
Versatility.
Okay.
He wasn't necessarily the creative, but he's the person that the creatives went to. So like him, Puffy, like those were like icons to me at a very young age because of like it's um like I can turn somebody into a hit maker. Yeah. That's kind of where my idea and like mindset was always at.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So how were you how was the transition for you from middle school up into high school?
Rough. My freshman year I went to Cass. So I so taking me from like a small east side middle school, Remus Robinson, and putting me into like this where I was a big fish, where I felt like I was a big fish, and then putting me into a pond like Cass Tech, where it was like I didn't have like, at that time it was like you had to be able to dress or like figure like you had to be able to dress yourself on your budget, and I didn't quite have the fashion piece yet. I didn't have to because I went to the small neighborhood middle school, so everybody kind of we just all was in it together. Like it was maybe one kid who had the fresh Jordans every week, but coming up we weren't rich, so it was like I kind of like got into a shelter of like I don't fit in here. So a lot of times my freshman year I was skipping high school. Like I was skipping school. Like I was like, oh, nobody checking, nobody care. I'm out. Like when it really was like from like going from like a 4.0 kid, like, and it's just like now it's like nah, I don't feel comfortable. It wasn't really like my mind wasn't where it should be. Like it was kind of how people would probably describe like going from high school to college, like that shell shock. So I'm happy it happened early. Like it was like, oh no, now I know how to. I kind of learned how to adapt to any space and really be personable and really like not cower or anything. So that's where I kind of got that second burst of life when I went to DSA.
Okay. So how was it like um from the school transitioning after you got in the hang like of that shock? Like how was that transition when you chose a more comfortable setting for you in high school?
Man, so again, like I don't think no one ever tapped into like my creativity until I got to the school like that looks like High School Musical. So you talking about like you walk in the hallway, you just see people dancing past you, or you hear these loud instruments, or you go a couple steps down, you hear just people just belting, just singing, and it's just like, yo, where am I? Like, where really am I? Like, it's just like. It was like, oh, this is heaven. Like, and it was like, oh no, I found my people. Like, I found my tribe, like a tribe of creatives that's just like, let's go. Like, let's figure it out.
Yeah, I feel that. And I feel like when you find something that you're passionate in and you're at least discovering and
Mm-hmm.
then being surrounded by that is a whole different dynamic. It looks seem like it brings more of your creativity out too.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
how was it for you getting friends, like being social? Like how was your social life?
You know, it's crazy. DSA was family. Like DSA
Mm.
was family oriented.
Mm.
Still to this day one of my best friends, if not my best friend, Kevin. Like he came up to me and was like, "What's up, bro? My name's Kevin." Like this is like my second day there. It's like like that's not really normal for
Yeah.
like ninth and 10th graders like to be having these dialogues, but like literally everybody just embraced me as soon as I got there. Like the name JG comes from DSA. Like
Oh
that's
wow.
because it was too many Jonathans.
Mm.
So everybody like it was like nah you like I was just like well call me JG and it was just like that. But I also was like I used to do this Jay-Z impression, so it was like it was, it kind of fit. Yeah.
That's funny. So while you were there, like what were you getting into, like far as extracurriculums and everything?
Yeah, so my major was radio and television,
Mm.
theater. So the first variation of I always say this, the first variation of audio wave network was created
Mm.
in DSA.
Oh
Like
wow.
it was a company I created with my teacher, Mr. Adams, called Circle TV,
Mm.
and it was like I had a vision, like like how kind of YouTube was like
Mm-hmm.
this is 2007, so YouTube is like really taking off and like
Mm-hmm.
becoming this social platform. So I had the vision of let's make let's make let's make this platform, let's create our own YouTube videos and our own projects, and let's really put this out and put this into some sort of like just a brand. Like we can do this ourselves. Like we can do
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they're doing on
Yeah,
these YouTube platforms.
I feel that. And how was that? What key things that your teacher like taught you through that whole process? Like, what did you really learn through that whole process?
um Event planning. So we
Mm.
had a fashion show.
Oh,
Don't ask me
nice.
why we had a fashion show, but we had a fashion. They needed to see something produced from this, so
Mm.
we had a fashion show, which was cool. Um, Leadership, because it was my idea, my brainchild. I was the president of Circle TV, so
Right.
it was like those were like the main things were like leaderships, being open, like
Mm.
listening to people.
Yeah.
um like as a leader, you're not always going to be 100% right.
Yeah.
So that was huge for me.
Mm.
So and it came at a time where I needed something. Like I needed it. Like if you grew up in like a most black homes or households, like your grandma's a big part. My grandma passed in my 10th grade year, so
Oh, sorry to
this
hear
like, oh, thank you. It was many moons ago, but I appreciate it. But this was like that creative outlet where I didn't have to like I didn't have to really worry about like not being able to feel a potential, because it was like, no, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna
that.
figure it out.
Hey guys, we want to take a quick little break just to do a quick shout out to TC's Art Gallery. That is T as in Tom, C as in Cat, S as in Sam Art Gallery. They do custom art, custom jewelry, and custom photos. They also help with your logo, updating your website, or if you need a website, and they help with social media advertisement or social media management. If you don't feel like dealing with your social media at all, contact TC's Art Gallery today. That is T as in Tom, C as in Cat, S as in Sam Art Gallery. And also check out their website at tcsartgalleryllc.square.site. All right, back to the show.
Nah, so just like having that creative outlet at such kind of like a young age, and still finding freedom in discovering who I am and my voice. Like I didn't think, like I know like 10th, 11th grade me didn't think, are you going to start this podcast network and do this? It was just like, no, that was fun. Like that was something I did in high school.
Mm, I feel that. And then as you start to slowly like see yourself build your character, what did you see mainly change within yourself through that?
Um, I always kind of looked at myself as kind of like introverted. Like,
Mm,
on the surface and in comfortable spaces, I am like I'm not gonna be the first one to start talking, but what I've learned about who I am is just like I'm a people person. Like I can interact with people and
mm-hmm,
you know I like you see like the conversation I had with the lady downstairs at the front desk is
mm-hmm.
just like um being like going over the top because like who knows like what that person say can make my day, what I say can make that person's day. So
Yeah,
just kind of developing a character of like I can talk to anybody, I feel comfortable in all the circles,
yeah,
yeah.
feel that. So from high school up until, let's say, college,
Mhm.
how was that transition for you during that process?
um I became an adult. Like there was no like I didn't take the traditional route. Like I
Mm,
didn't go to like the Michigan States, the U of M's. Like I went to school online.
mm,
So I had a full time job and was going to college at like from home. So it's like I'm the OG virtual school.
mm,
So it's like I worked at Radio Shack. Like I worked at Radio Shack and then I eventually transferred to I quit Radio Shack, but I technically got fired. But that was like my first job. That was my
mm,
first, big job. So I went from like part time to like assistant manager, at
mm-hmm,
18, 19.
mm.
Um, so I had a lot of responsibilities. Like I moved out 2 weeks after I graduated high school.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so um, but it was something that I think I needed. Like it was maybe an insecurity,
Mm,
like maybe an insecurity as far as like feeling like I needed to kind of uh kind of have something. Like all my friends going off to school and it's just like would you gonna stay here, you just gonna stay
mm-hmm.
in mom's basement. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that early, but I figured it out, and I continue to figure it out. Like I think I moved back home for like 2 weeks until like the
Mm-hmm,
next place was ready,
mm-hmm,
like, but I can say that I never had to go back, to my mom's house, thankfully. um but like that transition was tough, um
mm-hmm.
because I met a lot of people that I made
Yeah.
lifelong friends with. I started careers. Like I
Mm,
started getting like adulting jobs like Quicken and these companies that are were starting in the city,
mm,
graduating, getting degrees like that. That period for me was a period of like pure like growth, like
mm.
really becoming a man, but not really in the sense of like maturity, but like having responsibilities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel that. So going into college, you continue the same things from high school into college, right?
like
Did you
being
major?
creative.
Yeah, did you major
Nah,
in that?
see, and that's where I think the when the resurgence happened, it happened fast because there was no like I threw parties.
Mm,
But it was house parties. So it was
mm,
like, but my house parties used to have like themes and like
mm-hmm.
it was just like
Make it fun and stuff.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
wasn't just just come over my house and let's drink. It was like it
It
was
was like,
like
no, yeah.
yeah, like it had names. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend named Erica and Courtney,
Mm,
and it was like JG presents America's Most Wanted or something was their birthday party. It's like we used to have like
That's
theme,
different.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we used to have like theme parties and just like we had fun. I remember we did a commercial. My buddy Marcus was moving to LA like
Mm-hmm.
to go pursue his dreams, and we did like this commercial to like it was like a schools out still commercial like
Mm-hmm.
spoof. So I was like the super nerdy kid
Yeah.
that was just ready to go back to school, but it was like it wasn't time yet. So it was like one last party before school starts. So it was like
Yeah. Try
it
and get
was
all that fun
yeah,
out.
it was like those moments like I can't put a price on those. Like just
Yeah.
great times.
I feel that. So what did you major for then?
Communications, like so it's
Okay.
just like
So
blanket
yeah.
you just figure it out type of
Mm-hmm.
major, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what made you, was that a choice based off of
We didn't even talk about this part. So originally, I had plans to go to Columbia in Chicago. So
Mm.
Columbia is a media art school.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, I was going to continue it. Um, but like just coming up how I came up, I'm a first college graduate. Like so, it's like I'm a first generation college student in my house. So my mom didn't know about like financial aid or
Mm.
like how to fill out FAFSAs and like
Yeah.
Pell Grants and these things. It's like so it was me. Like I didn't even bring it to her because like mom worked like two jobs. It's like how can I bring? Hey, I need you to fill this out. Why do they need
Mm.
my taxes for the last 3 years? I don't know where my taxes. Like
Yeah.
things like that where it's just like we don't understand the loans. We may not qualify for them. I didn't understand the housing, so
Yeah.
it's like um it was messed up. But I
Yeah.
think that also led me into like the career path I kind of eventually chose because it was just like I can't let no more of like my situation happen to a kid because I probably should have been in Columbia. Like most
Yeah.
likely I should have been in Columbia. Like I don't trade anything for the world. Like I how my life panned out is how it should have panned out. But it's like if like the school system had better support or I knew how to ask for help,
Mm.
which I didn't. Like I didn't know to be like, hey counselor, I got this acceptance letter. I want to go to the school by any means necessary. I don't care how much money it'll take me to get here. Get me here.
Yeah.
It would have worked. But I was just like, I got this acceptance letter. I drove to Chicago like my cousin, and like we went to apartment searching. It's just like you're 18, 17, 18. What apartment you gonna pay for? How? Because in my mind, I'm thinking like, because I had Radio Shack job in high school. I started Radio Shack in high school. I'm thinking I'm gonna transfer Radio Shacks. I'm gonna keep making this part time money, and I'm gonna be able to pay rent. It's like
Yeah.
no, that's not how it works. You're a freshman in college. This gonna have a full schedule. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be able to maintain bills and these things. So what are like how are you going to do this? So
Yeah.
um I think but it's like I didn't look into like dorms or like the sensible thing that cuz I
Mm.
didn't know. So um
You
that
was
was like that's
unaware.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was kind of like one of those things where like I ended up getting into education. I ended up
Mm.
working with seniors to be like, "Hey, look, this doesn't really make sense. So like let me
Yeah.
help you formulate your plan."
Mm. And
Yeah.
they never gave you an advisor at all, or did you even were you even aware of advisors for
No,
college and everything?
it's you have to think of two things. Like, I'm working, like,
Mm.
so I'm like working almost every day after school. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm a senior. Sometimes I leave before last
Mm.
hour because I'm a senior and
Yeah.
I'm going to work. So I I didn't have like not like I didn't know how to utilize these people. Like
Yeah.
and these people I would say didn't know how to support me
Mm.
as like where I was. So
Mm.
it's like now these days I'm better at talking to these people, the recruiters and the advisors. Like, hey, this kid's the first time college kid. You got to walk them through the entire thing, like
Yeah.
from dorms to like walk them through the entire thing because it can get lost, and bring his parents in to make sure they understand and bring everybody who needs to be involved to understand this for him
Yeah.
or her. But that's like that's yeah, like I don't sometimes I think about like, oh man, like I could have been there, I could have did this, and it's like, all right, it didn't happen. But
Yeah.
what did happen, like
Mm-hmm.
the um like the house party series I created was it's something of legend. Like it's like if you talk to certain circles in the city, like, oh no, I was like they were there at JG Presents.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm satisfied. Like I
Yeah.
got my
Everything
degrees.
happened for a
Yeah, I got my
reason, right?
degrees. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
good.
I feel that. Now let's go into like how you met your wife.
Man, high school vibe. So um I was a senior year. I think it was no, it was junior year. I met my wife my junior year in high school. She went to Country Day,
Mm.
and one of our mutual friends went to DSA. We went to high school together, so she was just at homecoming. And again, I'm gonna speak. You don't look familiar. Who are you? Why are you here? Like so, I spoke.
Like who man's is
Like yeah, like who are you? Where
this?
you come from?
Right.
So I spoke. We that was it. Like I spoke to her that night. Nothing really happened. I think she may have sent me a Facebook request like later on down the line. This is when, like I'm old. I'm showing my age. She may have sent me like a Facebook request.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually my wife asked me to be her homecoming date, like our senior year. So
Yeah.
I said, yeah, like, oh, and then it's like one night, I think it might have been my birthday, my
Mm-hmm.
junior year. She might have called me, or I might have called her on somehow I was talking to her on the phone on my birthday on like a Tuesday,
Mm.
and like for my mom worked two jobs, so I had a little rinky dink car, so I was outside. It's my birthday on Tuesday night. I'm outside. Like it's my birthday's in December. It's like, what are you doing? Go home. Like it's dark out. Like so,
Right. And in
um,
Michigan weather.
yeah. So it's like it's freezing. Go home. Like,
Right.
but for me, it's always been like once we met, it's just always that's been my dog. Like
No.
like I think after like homecoming, we just started like just being cool, like being friends, like hanging out all the time. Like I used to. Like, this is where I think I also was missing my advisor calls because like I would go to work, then I go to her house. Like so, it's like my in laws are like they became my parents early because I was there
Mm.
all the time. So I would eat dinner over there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like yeah, I was there all the time, like every day after school almost. So
They like, we can't get rid of this boy, so he gonna be here. So
he's just
let's
gonna be here.
accept him.
Yeah. So my wife actually went to Howard. Like she graduated, went to Howard,
Mm.
and that's when we started taking things a little bit more seriously. Like
Mm.
toward like her freshman year in high school. Um, I mean her freshman year in college.
Mm.
And then as soon as she moved back, like graduated, she moved back home. So she moved in with me, and the rest was history. My
Hey.
anniversary actually tomorrow too, so that's crazy. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Congratulations.
it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So how has it been from the transition from the boyfriend phase up into marriage? What was the change that you seen within yourself through that process?
Financial responsibilities.
Mm.
Um, taking over places her father would usually be. So like, just anything like a home improvement. Like we own a home. Like we
Mm.
have children.
Right.
Um, so like everything was like it's like all right, life is more serious.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel that. So how has it been becoming a father? How was the process from when
Um,
you first became a father up until now?
So when I first, I was younger, like I was in my 20s when I have two kids. So I have my daughter, she'll be 8 on the 30th of this month, and my son, he'll be 1 on the 18th.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's like very packed September. Um, so it's like now I'm much more patient. Like I feel like
Mm.
I'm a lot more patient um and calm. It's like all right, like control the controllables.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's I feel like I get tired more. So it's like, but that's also like just the workout thing. Like you gotta work out more, keep your stamina up, but
Yeah.
um
Take care of your physical,
take care of
mental
your
health.
physical. Yeah, take care of
Yeah.
your physical and your mental. But like being a dad is probably the best part of me. So it's like I probably the crazy part is I probably won't see my kids again until Sundays just because it's our anniversary weekend. But it's like I like they're little me's. So
Mm-hmm.
like their initials are JG. Like it's the whole vibe. It's the whole vibe. Like there's like little me's in
Mm-hmm.
every sense of the way. So I'm happy. Um and it's like I think J. Cole said like I've become a lot more emotional since I had kids. It's like I'll cry over anything. So
Aw.
it's just like it's like one of those things where it's like I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my life.
That's
Yeah,
what's
for
up.
sure.
I love it. So how has it been becoming a business owner? Like fully like working with more people as time goes? Because you say you started your business in high school.
Yeah.
So how have you seen the growth from high school up until now for yourself?
Well, yeah, like the I, I we started in high school essentially. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
like the first variation. Like
Mm-mm.
the two aren't connected, but they're
Mm-hmm.
they're connected because it's me.
Yeah.
it's I'm gonna be honest. I think the trials and tribulations of it,
Mm.
um, just it it's like you just go. Like you really just go.
Mm.
Like it's like I feel like a million times I told you it's one of my trigger words. It's like, but um, being a business owner is the hardest thing in the world. Like
Mm.
being a parent, being a husband, those things are easy. Being
Mm.
an employee somewhere, but being a business owner is just like you control everything.
Yeah.
Like everything is on you.
Yeah.
Marketing, sales, recruitment,
Mm-hmm.
production, um,
Yeah.
edits, like everything is on you. So it's just like, all right, like janitorial, like
Mm-hmm.
the bathrooms ain't clean in here, or we
Mm.
need tissue, we need hand sanitizer. It's like, so that's like it's what I was made for. Like it's what I was made for.
Yeah.
Like it's a different dog, and like it takes a different dog to kind of handle that pressure. And I don't want to equate people to dogs, but you know what I'm saying? Like a different
Yeah.
bark in your chest to be able to be like, all right, that happened. Let's bounce back. All
Yeah.
right, that happened. Let's bounce back.
Yeah.
And it's like, cause you're gonna have a lot of that happen. So what you gonna do? Like
Mm-hmm.
I like we were broken into on August 6th, and it's like they took everything. Like every
Wow.
mic, every cord, everything. So it's like I equate this to like when business slowed down like this, it was like to the pandemic where it was like it just cost. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, like this ain't gonna stop me. Like I
Yeah.
can't this ain't one of those things where you can just like, all right, this didn't work, darn. Like it's like people depending on me. Like
Yeah.
I I don't say it lightly, but I do. But I really created I created podcasting genre for the city almost. Like it
Yeah.
before, like it was a bleak scene. So it was like, no, I I can't give up. If I give
Mm.
up, it's like people that been podcasting because they heard a podcast, they heard a podcast, they
Yeah. Word
started
of
a
the mouth.
podcast, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, no, we started because we heard hashtag Eastside, or I listened to Cocktails with Cocktails, and it's just like, damn, like these are shows that
Yeah.
I created, but I didn't know it was gonna motivate somebody else to create theirs. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm out for legacy at this point. So when you
Yeah.
talk about like kids, it's like these shows, these shows and these shows, it's
Mm-hmm.
like grandkids almost. And but it's not like in the, like I don't want to say I'm sunning people or they're like my children, but it's like in the sense of like
That's where you
we have a
started.
culture, like we
Yeah.
created a culture, and it's like a voice and a sound. It's just like Detroit music.
Mm-hmm.
It's something to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. And I feel like, of course, any entrepreneur will know is you will have your ups and downs.
Hmm.
You'll definitely get tested through a lot of
Hmm.
stages of your life, whether you at a good standpoint or a bad standpoint.
Hmm.
And that's literally what I've been going through recently too. With if it's out of my control, I ain't about to stress about it
Can't control it.
because you can't control it. It
Control the
happened.
controllables.
So, like you said, hey, that happened. Okay, what's next?
Hmm.
Okay, keep moving. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I definitely know what you how you feeling that. And I see you guys are back up and doing
Oh
your
yeah.
thing, so they ain't stop
You know
nothing.
the crazy part is we were broken into a Saturday night, Sunday morning ish, and um I had a show Sunday. That's why I was at the studio to find out we got broken into, because I had a show to do.
Mm.
So I'm talking about tears are flowing. I'm like, so it's a crazy story, but it's like I'm back and forth in and out of the studio. But I told the show like, all right, give me a couple minutes, because I had like old equipment. Like we've been podcasting since 2006,
Mm.
so it's like I have ancient equipment. It's like give me a couple seconds, let me blow the dust off, but you can record. Like
Yeah.
so, it's like I'm crying, I'm touching stuff. Like the police are there. They're like, can you stop touching stuff?
Right.
Because I'm like, no,
Because
I
they
gotta
want
set
to.
up. Like
Yeah.
it's a show here. Like it's the guests for the show. I mean the clients are here. Like they're my friends. Like they're people I know and they're
Yeah.
concerned. But it's just like
You gotta.
I gotta.
That's the
It's like it's that
entrepreneur
dog. It's
mentality.
like I
Yeah.
can't. I ain't. What am I supposed to do? Stop.
Yeah.
So it's like Tuesday. We had an on location shoot for Ask Jen, and we're interviewing the governor. So
Mm.
I'm supposed to stop. I'm supposed
Right.
to like I text you and hey, this is what happened. This is the equipment that I have this, old, but this will work. It'll
Hmm.
quality will still be there, like and people are asking me like, my man's, are you okay? Like, hold on.
Right.
Like, we don't care about
The
the
equipment, are
business. We don't
you
like, and
okay?
it's just like
Yeah.
I'm talking about people are like caught because like the word kind of spread fast
Yeah.
because like
Everybody know your place.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like people calling and it's like I can't get words out. Like
Mm.
it's just like
Yeah, because it's still
so
hitting you
it,
every time.
I'm just like trying to move. I'm moving like I think I just like went home and went to sleep. Like it
Mm.
was just like but to say the point I'm making is like it's been like the pandemic, like
Yeah.
it's been like these things haven't I had cancer. I had surgery when I was at the studio.
Mm.
So it's like I don't I ain't seen anything that can stop me yet. So
Yeah.
why would I?
Yeah. You like ain't nothing about to stop
Listen,
nothing
bro.
over here. And that's
Um
that I feel like that's that entrepreneur mentality. Like
like
ain't can't stop, won't stop.
I get hit but I don't go down.
Okay?
Yeah.
You get hit, you ain't gonna stumble. You go like,
Listen,
oh, wait a second.
I don't get dropped. It's all
Yeah.
good.
I feel that. I feel that. Hey guys, it's shout out break time. We want to give our love and support to our lovely JG with this company called the Audio Wave Network. It's a podcasting business that's dedicated in providing a vocal platform for the undeserved and to ensure that every voice is being heard despite your lifestyle or perspective. But it's not just only a podcasting business, it's a community. So join his community at audiowavenetwork.com. The information will be down below in the description and in the bio. All right, back to the show. So in the beginning, you pulled out of the topics bowl
Mhm.
and you got the lovely, what are you working on? So what is it that you're working on right now? Either
Um,
within yourself or your business.
time frame. When it's dropping, give me some time frames. Like
Any time frame
okay.
you can drop.
So right now the month of September, we're doing a September spectacular September.
Mm-hmm.
Just thank everybody who like just everybody in general support
Mm-hmm.
love. We got a great specials going on at the network. So if you're the first person to book for the day, you get 3 free sessions. So you pay
Oh,
for one, you get
nice.
3 free.
Oh, that's cool.
10 free consultations. So just people want, hey, can we brainstorm about this? I think
Mm-hmm.
this is good, but I want to change this. I want to elevate this. What should I do? Or
Mm-hmm.
I want a podcast. I don't know what I want it to be about. Let's figure it out. Let's talk. Let's find your interest. Let's see where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also are giving free visuals for the full month. So any session you
Nice.
book, if you're not the first person, you get free visuals for
Mm-hmm.
the whole month. We're also about to launch an internet radio station. Um, so that's uh, I don't I don't have a date for that one, but it's coming.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
in the works.
it's in the works. It's in the
Mm-hmm.
works. It could be in the works very fast. I just it's team season. Like
Mm.
I've carried the weight of audio wave for a long time
Yeah.
just on me, and it's like I can't like I need to assemble the Avengers. Like I
Yeah.
have to
You need
find
to.
that those people that I can trust.
Yeah.
I've tried before, and I've been impatient. Like if you're
Mm.
not gonna do it like me, get out the way. And it's
Yeah.
like you can't have
Can't
those
work like that.
expectations. Um, so I'm working on that, and then theatrical podcast. Like I want to turn like a lot of these people in the city into voice actors and actresses. Give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be the 2B of podcasts as far as like
Mm.
creating films and features and scripts, like taking these scripts and turning them into I mean audio masterpieces.
Nice.
That's like it's like a goal of mine. Like I want to put out one before this year is over.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can really see that going far, especially
Yeah.
how podcasts been going and
Mm-hmm.
people love hearing some good stories,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling
So
you. I came across one before and they had a dope series where, they um describe the scenery so you can have a visual in your own mind and
Hmm.
just go into it. So I feel like that's gonna look
Yeah,
crazy. That's gonna
yeah.
look
So that's the plan. So
crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing.
thank
That's
you.
dope. So what all do you provide with your company?
Audio Wave is literally a creative, just a creative space. As
Mm,
far as when it comes to podcasts, audiobooks, any of those things. So, we are a podcast studio. So that's the basis of everything. We are a podcast studio. We offer visuals,
mm,
podcast editing. I do consultations. I bring you in front of producers and people that have successful shows. If you need
mm,
like additional guidance and support, I freelance as a sound engineer.
mm,
So if you're familiar with the YouTube series XGN,
mm.
I'm the lead audio engineer on that. Um, but yeah, we do it all. And we
That's
we try
dope.
to we try to do it all. If we don't do it, we'll figure it out or turn you
Right.
to the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. How has it besides that, how has this year overall been going for you and your business?
Um, Business is great. We did move back into the Detroit Artist Test Lab. So at first we originated in Detroit Artist Test Lab from 2016
Mhm.
to 2021.
Oh, nice.
And then we moved to the Eastside Community Network from 2021 to just up recently in June of 2023. So, um, yeah, like that has been a little bit of whirlwind, just moving. But right now I feel real comfortable. I'm hoping we like our space gets the proper love and security it needs just after a break in. But
Mhm.
we're almost there. We're almost back to full functioning order as far as like the security of the space. But
Mhm.
we're great. Like it's like it feels good. Like it's
Yeah.
not like it doesn't feel as like terrifying anymore. Like, I used to be kind of scared of running the business, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that anymore.
What brung that edge off of you being scared to just finally like comfortable with it?
Failing, like
Mm.
I was Joe Jackson in the beginning. Like I was terrible. I think I talked about it here before. Like I was no nonsense. Like it's like, yo,
Mm.
we gonna create perfection. I
Mm.
demand perfection. And it was just like, hold on. Like, even like me thinking how I thought and then looking at those old pictures, it's like, what was you demanding perfection? Look at this studio. Like, so you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, like I'm glad I made it out of that time
Yeah.
of that headspace. But I had a dream. Like I have, dreams and visions where
Yeah.
I wanted to properly execute. It's like now I know how to communicate better. Like those I lost podcasters early on. Like people was
Mm.
just like I don't you talking to me crazy like not
Yeah.
not too crazy where it's like we're not friends or it's beef or anything. Like I had a show. Um, it was a time for they just used it as a time to connect. But I seen so
Mm.
much potential that I was like kind of hard on them. I'm like, yo, we could
Yeah.
do this. We could get this sponsor. And it's just
Yeah.
like we're not here for all that. And it's just like, oh, some people just being here just to kick you with their friends. And that's
Yeah.
I had to realize that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how's it been like learning that dynamic of working with more a variety of different people to better yourself too?
Um, I mean, it's all like working with people in general is one of those things where it's just like I, I think I'm a forever student. Like I'm like the perfect master is always a student. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I have to like take what I can from everybody. Like
Yeah.
take what I can from everyone's process. Like I'll steal something from your process today and be like, all right, I like how she did that. Like I'm gonna incorporate that in this process.
Mm.
Like because like essentially what it is. It's like taking pieces from everyone you encounter and building the perfect puzzle
Yeah.
or the perfect specimen. It's just like that's what really like the leadership and coaching ability I gained. Like my buddy Trademark, he used to work at JLB.
Mm.
He was rough on us, but he was fair. He was just like it was never a time where it was just like he gave you all bad and it was never anything good. He'll start with all good and be like, hey, but you might want to work on this.
Mm.
So
Those
yeah,
great helpful tips.
always,
Great
yeah,
mentorship.
yeah.
Yeah.
and he didn't even realize it. And I tell him all the time, like, Mark, you changed my life. Like
Mm.
I wouldn't be able to coach podcasters the way I do if he didn't coach me like that. So it's just
Yeah.
like, but it's also he gave me like the base, and
Mm.
then
You advanced it.
I added the crazy Joe Jackson, but then we took Joe Jackson off. Like we became more civilized. Like
Mm.
I'm like I'm the perfect like kind of coach nowadays.
That's great. So, overall through your years, what do you feel like your biggest accomplishments for yourself?
Making it through the pandemic.
Mm.
Like I don't. So it's one thing to put people in their homes.
Mm.
It's one thing like, all right, you gotta force it down. You're not really able to do anything. And then for me, someone who like frequently
Is
leaves
out.
my like I
Yeah.
frequently leave. I'm just, like I was bonkers. Like I was going crazy.
Mm.
Um and it was like I couldn't find a way to do podcasting. Like I couldn't figure it out. Like
Mm.
it was like I tried Zoom. I hated Zoom. Like I
Mm.
hated Zoom for podcasting. It was just like,
Because you can have messed up audio, messed up
yeah, people
video,
like kids jumping,
signals
like
out.
nothing for kids jumping in, but it was just like it just didn't feel right. Like because I'm
Yeah.
used to being a people person and being around the
In
people,
person.
so it
Yeah.
was just like I wanted to quit. Like I was just
Mm.
like, this is I can't. I'm not coming back doing this. Like I can't. And it was just like, if you don't, then what does that say about you?
Mm.
Like, what does that say about the people who want to come podcast? What does that say about um, just what you created? Like, we were on fire. Like I'm talking about, like fire closing out 2019. I was in a podcast conference in
Mm.
March of 2020, right before the pandemic. People, everybody from around the world wants to connect with us. They want to fly me out here to do interviews. They want to
Mm.
talk to me here. It's like, so you think that like I'm literally like, I think we had like 3 sold out shows in 2019. I was planning a tour for 2020. Like we were
Mm.
going to hit a Midwest tour, just
Yeah.
doing bars. And it was like, that was like, it was like a skirt, and it was like,
It's like, hold your brakes.
yeah, and it was just like you none of that. You have none of that. Like none of that is going to exist.
Yeah.
So it was just like devastation. Like I was devastated. Like because I really thought like how like I'm being featured on panels like from
Yeah.
like Atlanta. It's like
You feel like you really, really made it.
I was
You
we
were
were
there.
moving, and
Yeah.
it just felt good. And it's like the amount of shows we had. It
Mm-hmm.
was like sponsors lined up, and it
Mm.
was just like lost everything. Like
Yeah.
it's that's why I compare it to being like every taking the equipment, but it's like you got to get bodies back. Like
Yeah.
you take 3 months, 4 months off of podcasting, I don't want to do it anymore. Or
Yeah.
it's like that momentum that we all had. It was just like somebody sucked the life out of it. We was trying to
Yeah.
find normalcy in. I don't want to be cooped up in the studio, or it was a COVID outbreak in the studio. Now we have to. It was so
Yeah.
we'll try to open up, but then we got shut back down. It was just
Mm.
like
It was a lot of
ay
back and
ay
forth.
ay. So
Yeah.
coming out of the other side in this condition, in this mind state, is the biggest accomplishment I could ever ask for. Because like I doubted, like I didn't doubt me, I just doubted like this is not gonna work anymore. Too many
Yeah.
people can podcast in different ways. Like
Mm.
they don't need this studio anymore. But it's like they don't. They
Mm.
need you. Like
Right.
so it's like, yes, you can podcast many different ways, but it's just like how many people are going to have you or you know
Yeah.
come to this space to find solace outside of podcasting in their home. Like they
Yeah.
come to this space for, all right, I can take a deep breath, I can chill, get comfortable on this couch and relax and really just talk.
Yeah.
So
Because it's only one you at the end of the day.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where it was. That's the biggest accomplishment.
I feel that. You also in the beginning chose a number between 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
You chose number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now, number 10 is if you had a ticket right now
Mm-hmm.
to catch a flight and you got free expense for wherever you want to go, where would you go?
I gotta go right now.
If it
Um,
was today, if it was tomorrow,
um,
anywhere free expense.
I'm gonna be honest. I, Take me somewhere where no one can find me. Just give me like just a week, just to like. August was heavy, like
Mm.
for a multitude of reasons. Like August was, we had like some of our biggest interviews, um, press passes at Afro Nation. You know, like August was huge,
Mm-hmm.
but I also lost everything, but
Mm.
also gained everything back. So it's just like
It was like a literally
it's like
juggle
some of
roller
the
coaster.
messages people were pouring out to me. It was just like a lot of emotion was poured in August. So
Yeah.
I need a chance to be like, all right, guys, thank you, but
But
I see
goodbye.
y'all. I
See
see
you in a
y'all.
minute.
Let me go think, write some stuff
Yeah.
down, like journal, get my mind right. Um,
So you need a mental vacation
yeah,
for
like I
sure.
just need to like tap out for just a few. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I go outside, I'm JG, the podcast guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's crazy. Somebody, I don't know how much cursing I can do in here, but
You fine?
somebody said they didn't mean to. They sent me my picture. I was like, is this the podcast nigga? And it was just like that's my brand, you know,
Yeah.
like that's yeah, that's it's
Yeah.
me, like that, you know what I'm saying. So um when I'm out, I'm him. Like I have to be the podcast guy. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see like me in a bar and somebody might be pitching a podcast to me.
Mm.
Like, and it's,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, no, that's a dumb idea. It's like, all right, let me listen. I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna always listen. So um it's a different level of just like I just need a break. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like I have vacations coming up.
Yeah.
Um so
That's
we'll
good
figure it
though.
out. Yeah.
But you know, as a entrepreneur, we always gotta take those mental breaks because we can
Absolutely.
always be social butterflies just for those moments.
Yeah.
But once our social battery run low,
Man.
get away from me
It's
because you
like
don't want to come
I
off
gotta keep a car
rude.
charger.
Yeah.
I keep a car charger for my social battery just because
Yeah.
I don't, like unless I just lock myself in my house. Like I told you, like I just told you, like before we started, my phone wasn't receiving text messages for 2 to 3 hours. I had 30 text messages, and I'm someone that keeps my text messages zero because it's business, it's whatever.
Yeah.
That gave me anxiety. It was like,
Mm.
you know, like
Because you're used to
because
the
I'm used to like,
consistency.
oh, let me just get this. Oh, you
Yeah.
need this. Oh, you need this, and it's just like
But what were you doing during those 3 hours? Were you?
no, I was at work, so it wasn't even
Oh.
like
It
it wasn't even like a
wasn't like
fun time. It
yeah,
was I
like a
was
little
working,
break.
yeah.
Yeah.
So um that's where it is now. It's just like just getting a break. But I think I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna start taking weekends off.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my podcasts, like Saturdays and Sundays, are bangers. So I'll be typically working, you know,
Mm-hmm.
9 to 7 on a Saturday, and
Mm.
then maybe do like a 10 to 5 on on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And so it's like we hustle, like we
Yeah.
get after it because uh, we got bills
That's
to
the
pay.
mentality.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got bills to pay, and we got stories to create. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like let's get it.
Yeah, I definitely feel you with the hustle mentality, but we don't want to build, a toxic
Oh
work
yeah, yeah.
environment
That's
though, because
listen.
we, soon as
I'm a
we
traveler.
like, I'm telling you, yeah.
I'm definitely that's so a couple things I said like building a team like that's
Mm-hmm.
building the team is probably the most important thing to me at this point because um I know I can only do too much and I've been
Yeah,
spreading myself pretty thin and that's not typically who I like. I did that in my 20s. Now it's like
you're getting older.
I'm closer
Yeah,
to my mid 30s and it's like we've been in operation for 7 years, so
yeah.
it's like this is not like a uh you know like something that was created overnight. Like I can run this with my eyes closed, but it's just like I need to teach people and empower
So
people.
they can be like you
Yeah,
in a
so it
sense. Yeah.
but it's also like the people I want. Like I don't want
Mm-hmm.
the professional that's been doing it for X amount of years. I want the person that has no idea what they're doing.
That you
Like
want to start from
yeah,
scratch.
because
Yeah,
it's like let's figure it out. But it's
yeah,
also that I believe that everybody should have a creative outlet of some sort. Like
yeah. That's how I was saying for myself, like, cause I have a Growth Youth Detroit Grind and Hustle Youth mentoring program. That's my business. And I was like, I'm not going fully public with that yet until I have my team and my foundation fully ready because I
mm,
can't interact with so many kids so many parents
Mm-hmm.
and keep all that paperwork all by myself. I
Mm-hmm.
can. I'm not about to stress myself out though to
Mm-hmm.
do that. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather have a team so I can be able to branch out on certain areas and they can just report back to me like, hey, so and so happened. What do you want me to do? What's the next move? Stuff like
Yeah, I
that. I
got you.
can handle with that.
Yeah.
That's just for that program in itself. But for my art business, I'm doing all that solo
Mm-hmm.
team. That's fine, but it's getting to a point where I will eventually get my own team
Mm-hmm.
because it's okay to branch off to teach somebody, but you also it's so hard too because you don't want certain people to be let in on certain parts and because you want to build that trust to be able to have that trust and be comfortable because your business is your baby in a sense
Absolutely.
because you
Yeah.
that's what you pour your hard work, money, and time into, blood, sweat, and tears.
Mm-hmm.
So to just try to branch out into having a team, it just kind of like, ooh, it's like a ooh, do I want to? But then your body like, yes, you need to. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely feel you on that, especially like as time goes on and you want to have a bigger dream, bigger goals, bigger messages. Eventually, we gotta spread the
No, you absolutely correct. And that's it's there's been so many variations of like teams where like I create a sales team to do like the sales, and it's just like people not gonna believe in your dream like you gonna believe in it.
yeah
So it's just like also having to like pivot around those aspects, and that is just like well, we make it work. Like
yeah
I think right now, like the team, how I'm developing the team now is we're at like a place where I feel like we're about to be on fire again.
mm,
It's just a matter of recruiting the
yeah
shows, creating the shows, and getting the content out there.
yeah, and it's all comes with time and
Yeah,
patience too.
absolutely. And that's
Patience is something else though.
oh, whew. I mean,
Patience.
patience is twofold because there's a patience for being patient to get things off the ground.
Yeah.
But then there's a patience that comes with how do you fare in those moments of strife or where it's like things aren't going to work as well as you think they may. So how can you be
Yeah.
patient enough to trust in yourself?
Hmm.
And that's like the whole like the break in and COVID and all these things that kind of like
It was
that
piling on.
were out of my control. It's just
Yeah.
like, all right, how do you handle it? Like, do
Yeah.
you give up? You tuck your tail around, or you
Hmm.
figure it out?
I feel that. I
You
definitely feel that. Now, before we close,
know?
I was wondering, like, what is like a great piece of advice that for either a new entrepreneur or a person that wants to go into your field?
For a new entrepreneur, I would say just try it. Like, just go. Like, go. Like, it's what's like failure's the only thing. Like,
Mm,
and if you fail, you can start over.
yeah.
Like, failure doesn't. If failure takes away your life savings, then maybe like reevaluate. But just try. Like, I didn't. We we literally came up with the concept of audio wave in the basement. I ain't had no space. I called around, found a space. Well, I didn't call around. I called like my buddy Orlando and a couple other people, and I was just like, "Hey, you know of a space I could run a podcast studio out of?" They're like, "Oh yeah, go here." And it's like, call him. He was like, "All right, I would love to have a podcast studio in my building." It's like, all right, like so. It's just like I, take your chance, like shoot all your shots.
Yeah.
For somebody who wants to go in my field, as far as like if it comes to like owning the studio and
Hmm.
running the studio, um, find a space that wants a studio and
Mm.
leverage that. Like find a space that wants a studio
Hmm.
and provide that studio and leverage that somehow. That's what I would say. Like,
Okay.
um, because it can be beneficial for you from a multitude of ways.
Okay.
You know.
That sounds dope. Do you have any closing statements?
Uh, man, stay creative, stay wavy. Yeah,
Sounds awesome. Is it a part two coming?
it is. Let's do it.
All right. So for those that would love to hear and see the part two, check it out on our Patreon and make sure you're a subscriber so you can get early access. And also check out other exclusives that'll be coming as well. They'll be coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you for
Of
coming.
course, anytime.
All right. Make sure to check out JG's information down below in the description and in our bio. So until next time, see ya. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Elegance of Nae podcast. I'm your host, Nae, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow us at the Elegance of Nae podcast. Until next time, see ya.